Yes, people, what's good? Back again with another Surah reaction. Today I'm going to be listening to Surah Nuh. I believe it's about Noah and the flood of Noah and the ark, and why the flood was impacted upon the earth and what it was there to do and remove from the planet. So yeah, I've had a lot of requests for this one. I've also had requests for Surah Ibrahim, Surah Taha, which I did already. If you look back at my videos, I did a recitation of the story of Moses. So you can go back and watch that for the people that are requesting for that. But yeah, today we're doing Surah Nuh. It's supposed to be a really soothing Surah Quran recitation from the Merciful Servant channel. So yeah, let's get into it.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه أن أنذر قومك من قبل أن يأتيهم عذاب أليم قال يا قوم إني لكم نذير مبين أن اعبدوا الله واتقوه وأطيعون يغفر لكم من ذنوبكم ويؤخركم إلى أجل مسمى إن أجل الله إذا جاء لا يؤخر لو كنتم تعلمون قال رب إني دعوت قومي ليلا ونهارا فلم يزدهم دعائي إلا فرارا.
So Prophet Noah is saying here to God that, I've tried to invite them to my way to believe in the one true God, the one true creator, but my invitation just caused them to leave in flight. So he's tried to, as Muslims put it, give dawah and bring people to the true following of one God, but they've flown, they've left, they've gone away, they've run away, they've kind of rejected it, and they've not followed him. So let's see what's going to happen now.
وإني كلما دعوتهم لتغفر لهم جعلوا أصابعهم في آذانهم واستغشوا ثيابهم وأصروا واستكبروا استكبارا ثم إني دعوتهم جهارا ثم إني أعلنت لهم وأسررت لهم إسرارا فقلت استغفروا ربكم إنه كان غفارا يرسل السماء عليكم مدرارا ويمددكم بأموال وبنين ويجعل لكم جنات.
So he's telling God that, I've told the people, pray to the one true God. God is forgiving. He'll forgive you for, like they say in Christianity, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. So, that's constantly been something that's taught in the Abrahamic faiths. God will forgive you because you don't know any better. And I know in Islam they teach you that, they say it in a different way. They say God will not punish or hold you accountable unless the full truth has been shown to you, whether that's through Islam or through one of the true prophets. So yeah, he's saying, I told them that, God will bring you rain so you can grow crops and gardens and have lush land, and he'll provide you with, what was it, money and increase in wealth and children, so you'll have a big family, you'll have good money, you'll have land and lushness. So let's see what the people said to Prophet Noah in reaction to what he was asking of them.
ويجعل لكم جنات ويجعل لكم أنهارا ما لكم لا ترجون لله وقارا وقد خلقكم أطوارا ألم تروا كيف خلق الله سبع سماوات ألم تروا كيف خلق الله سبع سماوات طباقا.
Now I see why you guys requested this one for me. The 7 heavens thing I'm really interested in. As I said, my research into the Ra material, law of one, into Hinduism. Hinduism, they call it the 7 lokas. Islam, they call it the 7 heavens. Law of one, Ra material, they call it the 7 densities of light. So here, once again, they say, we're telling you that the Lord has created 7 heavens. So what you're seeing in your heaven or in your reality is not the true reality. There are heavens and realms and worlds and dimensions above what you see and what you can perceive. Noah's telling them, I've got this information for you about the 7 heavens, about the unseen world, but if you listen to me and you follow it and you believe in it and you acknowledge the true teaching I'm giving you, you'll be rewarded. You'll be rewarded, should I say, by God.
وجعل القمر فيهن نورا وجعل الشمس سراجا.
Wow, that's really impressive. Well, it's not really. It's really good because in the Quran 1400 years ago, I don't know how common knowledge it was that the moon was a reflection of the sun. The moon is not lighting up by itself. The moon is not a self-sufficient light. It's not like some kind of light bulb or shining pearlescent object. It's only pearlescent because its white surface reflects the sun. It was designed like that, you could say, so that when the sun is away from your part of the earth, its light still reflects onto the moon and provides light and guidance to the people. It allows for navigation, it allows for time telling, it allows for so many things. Crop movement, wave, gravitational rotation and movement of the waves and the waters. So, wow, cool. Sorry to keep pausing. I know you guys don't like it when I pause it, but I think you can't. I know Surah, the recitation, you're supposed to just listen and take it in. I'm not disrespecting it, but when you have to point out these really crucial things for me, it says Allah has caused you to grow from the earth a progressive growth. Progressive equinoxes, sun, moon, light, you're in a progression, the earth's in a progression, the days, 24-hour cycle of the days, sun to light is in a progression. That's why they said it after the moon part, to show it's all a progression of light and growth. So sorry, I just had to get that bit in. Let's keep going.
لتسلكوا منها سبلا فجاجا قال نوح رب إنهم عصوني واتبعوا من لم يزده ماله وولده إلا خسارا ومكروا مكرا وقالوا لا تذرن آلهتكم ولا تذرن ودا ولا سواعا ولا يغوث ويعوق ونسرا وقد أضلوا كثيرا ولا تزد الظالمين.
So he's telling God that, the wrongdoers have been continuing to lead the people down a path of polytheism. It reminds me of the story of Akhenaten, actually. Akhenaten, the pharaoh of Egypt, he was the one pharaoh in the whole Egyptian dynasty that tried to lead the people to follow the law of one God, one creator, one infinite creation. So he managed it. He was the pharaoh when he was in charge. He done it, and his priests obeyed him. But as soon as he died, it turned out that the priests, they were just following because he was the pharaoh. He was powerful. So it was just lip service recently. Basically, it's just lip service. They were saying, "Yes, pharaoh, we believe you. We're going to teach the people about one God, monotheistic." But as soon as he died, they scrapped it. They went back to their ways. The new pharaoh was still a believer in the old ways, so the priests were able to go back to the old ways. They went back to polytheism and multiple gods, and it's just here. It's just the same here. Noah saying, I'm trying to tell these people the right way, but the wrongdoers continue to mislead them. And now he's saying to God, do not increase the wrongdoers, do not give them any more power, do not allow them to do anything more except in error. Just make them do wrong now, make them see the error, make them fall into bad ways, should we say, and not allow them to mislead the people anymore. Let's keep going.
مما خطيئاتهم أغرقوا فأدخلوا نارا فلم يجدوا لهم من دون الله أنصارا وقال نوح رب لا تذر على الأرض من الكافرين.
Okay, so now they're talking to God, and Noah is talking to God and saying, this flood, going to drown all the disbelievers, do not leave upon the earth any of the disbelievers, which is really interesting historically, because it seemed in all, if you look at all the ancient tellings from certain religions, from certain, what they call mythologies, which I don't think are quite mythologies, there was a time on the earth where there seemed to be these amazing people with powers. Say you were a human at that time, and okay, let's look at Hinduism, for example. There were these people in what they called Vimana. They used to call these flying castles, these flying triangle castles, looked like a big triangle, and had lights and fire coming out of it and steam, and they used to fly around the sky, and they used to battle people, and they used to have blue skin, and some of them used to have like animal heads, and they used to say they used to have battles in the sky, and they called them the gods with a small g, the gods. Because in Hinduism, Brahman is their supreme god. What Islam with Muslims will call Allah. But they say, they were these lower gods, and they used to fight on the earth, and they used to cause bloodshed, and they have wars, and they used to lead these wars and lead these armies, and they used to have all these technologies. They used to have rockets. They used to have ships powered with like mercury, and they used to shoot arrows of like lightning bolts and fire. Obviously, that's just humans in that time describing it. Now we would see, a lightning bolt, an arrow that shoots a lightning bolt, you could see as like a big gun or like a laser gun or laser weapons. And then you go out to the Greek mythologies, and you have all these gods with different powers. Some control the thunder, some control the rain, some control the fire. And then you go back to even ancient Sumeria, when you have the gods with the small g's, and they were giants, and they would enslave humans, and they would get them to mine gold. It seems all over the earth there was a time where there were these higher beings from like a higher dimension, what in Islam they call the unseen world, what the raw material they call the higher densities. It seemed there was a time on earth where those beings were here, and they were out in the open, not unseen, not hidden, but they were like openly interacting with humans and having tangible says in human life. And then you go to Islam, and it said before he put Adam and Eve on the earth, which we would consider like us, our human civilization, the angels asked God, will you put humans to shed blood like the ones who are on the earth now? So who's on the earth now? Then you look back to the ancient tales, and you realize, wait, all these gods with a small g, from the Greeks, Hinduism, India, ancient India, ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, ancient Sumeria, you think, oh, so there were these higher density beings, good ones, bad ones, ones in the middle, ones who didn't quite, ones who got overpowered, ones who were powerful, ones who were kings, leaders, ones who had weapons, they could control the elements, they had spaceships, UFOs, they would leave the earth. There was a time when these people were on the earth, and there was corruption and bloodshed upon the earth. And the time where God sent Adam and Eve down was the time where these people from what Islam calls the unseen world were no longer allowed to interfere with human progression. So this is like, it seems like this flood was to get rid of that stage of human history, that the stage of human history where the higher density beings or the more evolved beings or the beings of higher power and technology and spiritual advancement, that flood was to wipe them and their history off the world and, kind of not restart, but start human history again where it's just us humans with our, basic abilities. We have the abilities of mind and body, obviously soul as well, but we don't have like amazing technology, and we're not flying through space, and we're not having battles in spaceships in the air and shooting fire and lightning at each other, and we're not okay. We've put nuclear bombs on each other, but at that time, in ancient India, they used to report nuclear bombs all the time. They used to report Vimanas dropping bombs from the sky and detonating entire cities and demolishing. It was crazy that back then. So the Quran is just, it seems to be shedding light upon that time. And obviously, if you're a human living at that time and you see all these things going on, you're going to think, wow, you look at the sky, you see spaceships and people flying. And in China, they're seeing people flying on what they used to call dragons. Was it really a dragon, or was it some kind of advanced kind of machine, or like a higher density spiritual kind of being or beast? Like you look at every ancient culture and they speak of these battles and these crazy things flying through the sky and bombs and weapons and wars and giants and people with blue and green skin and animal heads and mining gold and enslaving humans. And then you look at the tale of Noah, and Noah prophet is saying, do not leave upon the earth those among the disbelievers an inhabitant. So you're getting these higher density beings, these jinn, these angels, if you want to call them that. You're removing them from the earth, and you're removing the belief that they are God or gods. By removing them, you now have an easier path. The path is a bit more straightforward to say, that these are not gods. They were not God or gods. They were higher density beings. They were more evolved beings than you. They were what you call the jinn, or the ones from the unseen world. But they were not God, the one creator. And this is what the flood has come to wipe out and bring monotheism now. So let's keep going.
إنك إن تذرهم يضلوا عبادك ولا يلدوا إلا فاجرا كفارا رب اغفر لي ولوالدي ولمن دخل بيتي مؤمنا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات ولا تزد الظالمين إلا تبارا.
Wow, okay, so the last bit there, Noah is asking God, do not punish the believers. Says, forgive me and my parents and whoever enters my house a believer. So me and my parents are believers. Forgive us, we are the believers in the truth. Forgive us and whoever enters my house as a believer also. And forgive the believing men and the believing women. Those who believe now, forgive them and spare them, I suppose. Bring them upon the ark to the new world where, the monotheistic beliefs dominate. which we are seemingly in now. Because even people say Hinduism is polytheistic. It's actually not polytheistic. The Hindu gods with a small g, they represent aspects of the supreme being Brahman, which is the supreme god, the main god with a big G, what you would call Allah. So there are people who believe in polytheistic beliefs still, but the main polytheistic religions that were dominating the world have pretty much gone now. You think of ancient Sumerian polytheistic belief, you think of Egyptian polytheistic beliefs, you think of the Arabian Peninsula polytheism, polytheistic beliefs that Prophet Muhammad removed. You think of the polytheistic beliefs from most of the world and you can't see it. Countries are now either Judaic, Christian, Islamic or Hindu, or you have like Buddhist countries. So polytheism in its state that it was, where all the gods were seen as the supreme creator, that's pretty much gone now. So, wow, that flood that they talk about from Noah is like it's like a new chapter, should we say, a new era of away from the polytheistic gods and all the things that were happening that were causing an increase in that belief. And do not increase the wrongdoers except in destruction. Okay. So yeah, man, really like that. It was good, man. I like the history. I like how it told of the progression of the moon. You know, I like how it told the history of the moon, the progression of the moon and what it signified and how the moon isn't a self-illuminating object. You know, it's actually a reflection of the sun, which provides a light at night, which is, you know, it's very advanced knowledge, which is shown here in the Quran. And yeah, man, you know, when you really reflect on all the religions and the faiths and the stories that we used to see from around the world of these beings that were called gods, and they were worshipped, and they were kings and giants, and they had weird color skin like blue, green, yellow, red, orange skin, and they had animal heads, and they had spaceships, and they would fly around, and they had powers and lightning bolts out of their bow and arrow, and they had battles in the sky from every culture around the world. What we're actually seeing, I think, with Adam and Eve and the story of Noah's flood is that, you know, we can clearly see there were other civilizations on the earth, which is the ones influenced by these beings. So there were humans who were already influenced by these beings. So when Adam and Eve were set out onto the world, they were the first humans of monotheism, shall we say, the first humans to bring about what we would call the true belief in monotheism, in one God, of one infinite creator. So yeah, wow, man, really cool. I like the retelling of the Quran as well. It kind of clears up some of the, you know, cause sometimes they say on Noah's Ark, animals went in 2 by 2 and all that, and they say, how did this happen? How could 2 of every species on the planet go in? I think what it was actually signifying is more a rebirth of the planetary consciousness to believe in one God rather than polytheistic dominance. You know, it's more saying, you know, this is the time of the rebirth of consciousness, a renewed understanding, a refreshed understanding. And we see that now. We look in the world, every country, like, as I've just said, is pretty much monotheistic. And that is the dominating belief of the planet now. So the Noah's Ark thing, yes, there was probably an ark that they stayed in to avoid the floods. That's, you know, feasible. But in terms of, you know, going in the ark 2 by 2 animals and all that they teach in the Bible, I think maybe that was taught as a more of a metaphorical rebirth of all the species, as well as the human beings, as a rebirth, like an evolution of their consciousness and of their belief, of the consciousness and the belief of humanity, which is reflected in, you know, the human way and ties it in with animal ways. But it's used the animals being saved and rebirthed into this new earth as a metaphor for a rebirth of the whole of human consciousness, and then to add to that, give you the instruction of Adam and Eve as the first humans, which we realize they're not actually the first humans, they're the first humans of what we would call maybe our type or this new generation or evolutionary period of humanity. Wow, cool, man. Got into some good stuff there. Hope you like, comment, subscribe, share. Subscribe would be good. I'm on 630 something subscribers. I need 1,000 and a little bit of change from this YouTube thing. Would be nice. But you know, hope everyone's safe, well, all good. Catch you next time. Peace.